What's that real story nobody would believe you that actually happened? Me and my friends were out in the edge of the field of our local elementary school, and it was a ways out. We, 5 of us, all saw this figure a little above our head, and it was just a head to body or anything. And we all booked it, but as I was staring back at it, the face disappeared into thin air. I was driving, and as I approached a stoplight, it turned yellow, so I slowed to a stop. As I approached, I noticed a squirrel standing on the corner. I stopped, and as soon as the walk sign came on, the little squirrel crossed the road, in the crosswalk, all the way. Once across the street, he ran off down the sidewalk. No one ever believes me. That my wife really is getting a colonoscopy tomorrow at 12:30. I've also seen dogs waiting for the red light, for cars, to appear and start crossing the road. Not even humans do it. Many times, I had a customer whose website contained an image of Auschwitz, the World War II death camp, as a picture of a train junction. No one had any clue until I printed it and showed it to them for a comparison of the stock image versus the ones you can find online. The worst part is a newspaper leased space from them and didn't even catch it. One day I will get permission to post it. So are you saying those pictures could have been taken by him or something? Being a straight female, true story. I saw a woman running behind a cow in the sidewalk. In high school, a couple of guy friends of mine got my best friend and I liquor. I have no idea how, where they were only a year older than us. And we also had weed. My best friend and I offered the boys liquor and a puff, but they refused and only smoked cigarettes. It was dark, middle of summer, around 11:30 p.m. We decided to go for a walk on the trail. We stopped to talk. The boys were standing in front of us, facing us. The boys, completely sober, get a terrified look on their face and start running as fast as they could away from us. I turn around, see this 8 to 9 foot black, huge figure on 2 legs running towards my best friend and I. I yell, "Holy fuck, start running!" Still unsure what the fuck it was. We came out of the trail behind the park we were at previously, found the boys, and asked why they ran away just to see if it was our drunk minds. It sure was not. They saw the same exact figure first, sober as can be. All 4 of us talk about it with each other still, but not really anyone else because they do not believe us. Scariest moment of life. I never ran so fast. I am the sole survivor of a plane crash. It's such an odd thing to be called a liar on. People have come back to apologize in amazement to me because they found the newspaper articles. Care to explain what happened? Or is it too bad to think about? When I was 6, my father had his pilot's license and a little Cessna, so our family would fly often. In 1993, the plane crashed during landing at the Clearwater Airport. No one knows who to fault, but I have my opinions. I lost both my parents and my brother. The EMTs thought I was DOA as well, but I started moving, so I was rushed to the hospital. I broke most of the bones in my body, had reconstructive surgery on my face, spent all of 2nd grade in a wheelchair, and had to relearn how to walk. I can talk about because of years of therapy and compartmentalizing my life, but I still try to keep conversation about it brief because it can get awkward quickly. This has led to quite a few people thinking I was making it up, and even running background investigations on me to see what was really going on. It doesn't help that I still love to fly and travel often. Thank you for sharing your story, and I'm glad you were able to get back into flying. It sounds like you've been through a lot, and I know it doesn't help when people make their own assumptions. I'm sure your family would have been very proud of you for being so strong and carrying on the tradition. I am. Got lost at 4 years old in the supermarket. Walked 1 mile at night trying to get home. I was 4, it was dark, and I got lost at the supermarket. I assumed my mom forgot about me, so the next logical step was to walk home. No fear, no tears. I walked 1 mile in my 4-year-old legs when a lady waiting for the bus found me. She was really surprised when she found me. It wasn't a nice neighborhood. Walking alone at 9 p.m. Took me to her home and left with her husband to find my mom, who was crying because she thought she had lost a child. I was unusually calm, played with dolls, and waited. I was reunited with my bro and my mom, who were crying. We all cried. I was at a high school football game with some friends, and one of our friends went into a tall grass field behind the bleachers before the first quarter was finished. We didn't think anything of it and just assumed he went home early. But a few hours later, we looked into the field and saw someone crawling in the grass. We all assumed that it was our friend, so we ran into the tall grass to fuck with him, but we couldn't keep up with him. We would see him in one place, run over there, and he would be gone. But after a while, the game was almost done and people were leaving, so we gave up. No one really thought anything of it until school the following Monday. When our friend walked in, we started talking about the football game last Friday and how we couldn't keep up with him. But as it turns out, when he walked into the field, he hopped a fence and went home. He didn't stay in the field for the entire game, and looking back, that should have been obvious, but we were stupid high schoolers. That when I was 6 months old, I got the cops called on me. And when I was 2, me and my dad were on his quad, and I figured out where the gas thing was, so I pressed it as hard as I could, and my dad could not get my hand off it, and I almost ran over my grandparents when I was doing it. I was laughing the whole time. This one is believable but hilarious. My best friend and I got picked up by the police after we were floating down the river on a wooden pallet wearing winter boots and swim trunks in 90-degree weather, and then used said pallet to ramp up over the fence onto the highway nearby because it was easier to walk up the woods next to it than it was to wade back up the water. We were at least a good mile downstream. There's also the time that I jumped out of the same friend's car window into our buddy's pickup going 45 miles per hour down the road. Looking back at how badly I would have been hurt if I had missed, I'll say it was a stupid thing to do. But hell, I made the jump, so all is well. I met a woman named Karen who wasn't entitled and didn't want to speak to the manager. This only happened a few weeks ago. Me and a few of my friends, let's call them Mike, Zach, and Luke, we're at Luke's house. It was the middle of the day and we stopped at his house for a quick drink after we left on our bikes again. Luke went into the kitchen to grab us drinks, and Mike went into the bathroom, which left me and Zach by ourselves in the front room while we waited. We just sat on our phones and played games and made stupid jokes as the door slowly opened next to us. We brushed it off as the wind pushing it. A few minutes later, the door closed faster than it opened, and being the stupid 13-year-olds we are, we just laughed it off. After another few minutes, the door swung open, slammed shut, and then locked all by itself. Me and Zach are sitting there, terrified at what we had just seen. Luke and Mike ran in to see what had happened. After we explained, Luke and Mike didn't believe us. Luke then said, "If the door locked, you would have heard this." He locked the door and made a soft click sound. Me and Zach told him that's exactly what we heard. He just called us weirdos as he walked away. While he was walking, the door opened and closed and locked by itself. All of us froze. We slipped our shoes on, chugged the rest of our water, and sped off to my house on our bikes. Never mentioned it to anyone else, and not sure why. One night, my brother and I were sitting on the steps by the sidewalk where we live. We were about 10 and 12. It was almost dark, so the streetlights had come on, and since it was summer, we didn't have to go in just yet. So there we were, bullshitting, and we both look at the dark side street that met our street and see a creature of some sort. It was about the size of a dog, but its legs looked as if it were crawling in a back bend, and it was fast. We were absolutely traumatized from that for the longest time. Still have no idea what it was.